us to see a little bit, a clip of you in your element with your band performing. This was last December, December 5th to be precise,
Yeah.
at the Feria Internacional del Libro, which is the International Book Fair in Guadalajara, Mexico. Now, let's for our audience that's just tuning in or listening and watching this, keep in mind this is Mexico. Most people in the audience have never heard this music before, and they're watching something completely, it's not tradition, it's innovation. It's the band playing jazz with a singer singing Indian music from both north and south. But let's see this clip to get people an idea of what we're talking about when we say jazz and classical Indian music. That's Aditya Prakash Ensemble performing December 5th in Guadalajara, Mexico at the International Book Fair. And an adoring audience, I must say. This was such a special concert. What was the piece that you sang at this concert? What was that one?
That one was from our first album called The Hidden. It's The Hidden, the title track. And it's beautiful poetry, spiritual poetry. I don't think we have time to get into that, but as you can see, yeah, there's a lot of a lot of elements of where the traditions combine. For me, at this point, it's not about, I don't hear jazz or Indian as separate. I just hear it as one entity, and I'm not even thinking about combining different styles. It just come out as its own language, and yeah. So yeah, that's basically it.
I mean, let's understand this. There are Indian music has an improvisational aspect. Jazz has an improvisational aspect, and so
yeah, that's like the meeting point. I think that's like the entry in, is the fact that both our styles are very spontaneous. They feed off musicians interacting on stage. A lot of it comes from one idea a musician plays, the next musician takes it forward. That happens in both traditions, especially in jazz solos. There is a composed part, the head, and we call it a pallavi in Carnatic music. That composed part is the launching pad for the improvisation. It's very similar to both styles, and so that was our way in. But one thing that Indian music doesn't have is harmony. We just, because of this, maybe you could say that we've really delved deep into melody and rhythm. Through centuries, it's been evolving. And so I think jazz musicians can gain a lot from Indian melody, how we approach raga, how we develop melody. We think like this, where they think like this, stacking harmony. We're thinking melody, building melody. How can we continue to build a melody? I like to physicalize that. And so if you can combine those elements, it just opens up the music like this. So instead of going in direct lines, you just kind of open up in a different direction. And I think that's what made me want to like open up this new sound. It brought a new soundscape. So I think we both gain a lot, jazz musicians and indie musicians. My band, we learned a lot about it.
But to clarify one thing, though, your singing has to follow certain patterns, right? Certain structures, whereas it's not the same as vocalese. The singers of, the jazz singers that would do scat, it would be just improvisation, right? I mean, they follow obviously the 12 tones, right? The 12. But in Carnatic or Hindustani, there's a certain structure that you have to follow, right?
Yeah, the structure is, I think it's important to have a structure I think everything has a structure, but you need to get so comfortable in it that you don't even notice the structure anymore. And I think then you're free, truly free. And yes, ragas do have certain rules. Like for instance, there's a scale, it's just a major scale, but the raga goes sa ga ri ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga ri sa ga ri. I can never go sa ri ga. If I go sa ri ga ma, that's wrong. It's a different raga. I have to always go sa ga ri ma ga ri za ni pa ni sa ga ri pa ga ri za ni sa ga ri pa ma ga ri za ni sa ga ri ma sa ri ga ma. No, sa ga ri ma sa ga ri pa sa ga ri ni pa ma. But I'm not even thinking about that. It's just coming out. Sagari ma pa ni sagari ma ga ri za ni pa ni pa ma ga ri sagari ma ga ri za ni pa. And so I'm not limited by those rules now. I'm free. And I think that's the beauty of this tradition is the rules are there to give you freedom to work within. And I think sometimes it's nice to have that.
Right.